What's going on YouTube? Guy in the backseat here from Doomvilla Games here with my second installment of cards to look out for Cosmo Blazer. Now, everybody and their mother is talking about Fire Fists. I figured I'd talk about the other fire archetype that they're releasing alongside it that's kind of been floating under the radar, and I'm really seeing it from other players' perspectives like Watts. It's like Watts existed, Watts were a deck, Watts got all the support under the sun, and yet still nobody plays the deck. It's like if you do, kudos. I appreciate you as a player because you actually want to look at decks in a whole different way that could, just lock down decks and decks where things can't be destroyed and decks where things can't be targeted and just ridiculousness. So your new best friend, people that play Watts and people that like to play subtle decks that nobody really sees coming at the tournament, Haze Beasts. Now, I really like that Konami is kind of making these a pun because they're called Haze and they have a card called Haze of Glory and stuff like that. And so it's kind of hilarious that Konami's like already calling this deck a joke before it even comes out. But it's not a joke. I've read the effects. They're ridiculous. Once again, using Japanese scans, so you're going to have to deal with my voice. Sorry about that. But these are the Haze Beasts, and they're all based off mythical creatures, and that already makes me happy because I like mythical creatures. So we'll start with the one that's obviously a Chimera, but they made it into a Cerebrus, so whatever. Haze Beast Cerebrus. It's a 2K 200, so it is a Fire Dog target technically, and it's a level 6 fire, as all the Haze Beasts are, and it has the following effect. It says that you can normal summon it without a tribute, and if you do, its original attack becomes 1000. It cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects, and whenever it's destroyed, you get to search your deck for a Haze Beast and add it to your hand. Doesn't seem like a big deal, except that whole cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects. That's pretty awesome. They aren't going to Caius this. They aren't going to compulse this. They aren't going to deprison this. They aren't going to bottomless this. This card's going to sit. But if you normal summon, its attack's 1000, so they can't bottomless it either way. But still, the lack of being able to be targeted is a big deal on cards. But all the Haze Beasts have this effect in some way, shape, or form. So, moving on. We have Haze Beast Grips. Now, it's called Grips. It's obviously a Griffin, but they don't care. It's a 200-20-100, so pretty much opposite stats of the other monster, and not a Fire Dog target, but its effect states that if you control no other non-fire monsters, you can special summon this card. So if you normal summon this and summon this from the hand, that's pretty cool. It's like a twofer, and he can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects, and it says, I believe it's just the special summon clause is all that he really has going for him, but it instantly puts a rank 6 on the board. So that's pretty cool. And then we have Haze Beast Sphinx. Yeah, it's Sphinx, not Sphinx. They can't put the H in there because that would just be too normal. Again, it's a level 6, 1900 and 1900, so pretty solid stats on this monster. And it says, I believe it has the no targeting clause, and it also has I think it's the only one that you actually have to normal summon naturally. It's like other than the other two. So it pretty much says once a turn you can call card type, monster, spell, or trap, and mill the top card of your deck. If it's the same, you get a special summon a Haze Beast from your deck or graveyard. So that's pretty cool. You can just put out rank 6s like a nothing with this deck. It's retarded how easy, and it has the no targeting clause. Again, no targeting. So you can't target these things. It's like they're magical or something. Then you have Haze Beast Periton. Now, I've never, ever seen this, unless it's like a mix of a Pegasus with a deer or something, but either way, it's a 1600-1700 level 6 fire monster, and its effect is that you can tribute it, and you can basically send a fire monster you control or from your hand to the graveyard, and you tribute it, and then you special summon 2 Haze Beast monsters from your deck, except himself. So that's really awesome. You can basically get this guy on the board, pop him off, bring out 2 of these, get possibly 2 more summons, go for rank 6s like nothing, bouncers, and all types of nonsense. I like the deck, but it's also one of those that you have to really think to be able to use. Now, Konami did give this deck a little bit of support whenever it came to the TCG. you have an American exclusive or TCG exclusive or whatever called Haze Beast Manticore. Now this says Chimera, which makes me upset because Chimeras are way cooler than Manticores, but Manticores also are the ones that do have the stinging tails, so we can't really get angry at that. Now this is in, I don't know what language, I believe Spanish, but I don't know. It's a 2200, 300, rank 6, so they put it right out of the range of Fire Dog, but it says that pretty much if you have it on the board, you can basically send a fire monster you control or other than itself or another card or a fire monster from your hand to the graveyard and make it untargetable for that turn. So or it can't be destroyed by card effects or something like that. It's pretty nice. I don't know exactly the effects, but I really do like how this archetype likes to say no to 1,000 cards. It's like, you can't target me. So the preemptive can't be targeted means, like, if their effect activates and they activate Divine Wrath, I don't know if Divine Wrath works because they can't be targeted, so Divine Wrath can't work. Even though it's spell speed 3, it still can't work. So that's what you really need to like focus on with this deck. Now their boss monster is the most obnoxiously retarded looking thing I've ever seen. It's Haze Beast Basilicock. Yes, Basilicock. That's a funny name. It makes me happy to say that name, Basilicock. But anyway, it's a rank 6 and it's a fire and it's 2500, 1800. Now, it has the most interesting Xyz summon, effect, like in terms of conditions ever. It says 2 or more level 6 fire monsters. Now, how many do we have? I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, and it doesn't have limitations like on different, it just says 2 or more, fire monsters that are level 6. So that's pretty cool. It has a couple of effects. The first one is that you can detach a material from it, and if you do, then you can target a monster in either player's graveyard and banish that target. So that's pretty nice. It's not a quick effect, so you can't like activate it in response to their monster born, but it's really nice that it lets you do that. Then the secondary effect, or where it gets kind of crazy, it gains the following effects based on whether or not it has the right amount of materials. So it can gain all 3 of the following effects. The first one is the 3 or more materials. It gains 200 attack points for each material underneath it. So if you have 3 on this guy, he's automatically jumped up to a 3100. If you have 5, his attack's 3500. So that's pretty cool. Then you have the 4 effect, which I believe says like I totally spaced on this one. I can't remember, but it's really good. And then the rank 5 effect is he can't be destroyed by card effects. So, yeah, I think the rank 4 is like he can't be targeted, and then the rank 5 or the 5 placement is can't be destroyed. So he's pretty much invincible. It's like you have 5 materials on this guy. You can Dark Hole. You can, pretty much Black Rose, and it's cool. Like he'll just stick around. It's no big deal. And so that's like having an invincible monster with 3,500 attack points that they have to kill in battle, and that's really nice. So the Haze Beasts are interesting enough, but how often are you going to get 5 level 6 monsters on the board? Not often. But Konami gave us some help with that. You have Haze Pillar, and you also have Haze Glory. All right, Haze Pillar and Haze Glory both have pretty much the same effect. They're both continuous, one's trap, one's spell. And the spell says, and the trap says, verbatim, Haze Beast monsters can be summoned with 1 less tribute. Now, they're all level 6s, so you only need 1 of these on the board in order to fulfill the effect. So that's pretty cool. You have this, which just lets you normal summon, and this that lets you just normal summon for the sake of normal summoning. But Haze Glory says that when this face-up card on the field is, or when this card on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you get to add a Haze card other than itself from the deck to the hand, or graveyard to the hand, I think. So it's deck or graveyard to the hand, which is really cool. But then Haze Pillar says once a turn you can attach a Haze Beast on the field to a Xyz monster as a material. So all these things encompassed together is really cool because they all group for a universal strategy. It's like your opponent can't do much to these things hitting the table, and then on top of that they have a boss monster with the most hilarious name and also the most hilarious thing for you to beat your opponent's face in with. Because when you say that you lost to a Basilicock, you know it's hilarious. But anyway, Haze Glory and Haze Pillar, both essential staples for this deck at possibly 2 or 3 a pop. So I really like how this deck's turning out to look. It looks hilarious. It looks like it'll be fun. The Fire Kings also help it out because they're all beasts and wing beasts and stuff like that. Tell me what you guys' thoughts are on this. As always, comment, rate, subscribe. Have a nice day. We'll have more on the archetypes next.